Guys, welcome back for another episode. We've got Bianca Pietersz. Is that right? Peters. All right, so it's much easier to say it than it is to spell it. And today we're blessed to have you because you're coming from a completely different hemisphere. Oops, that goes my phone. Sorry about that. And we'll hand it right over to you. So, Bianca, who are you? What do you do? And why do you do it?
Hi, my name is Bianca Pietersz. I am a property manager, a founder, entrepreneur, and I'm a mother.
All right.
And
God, so what do you do? What are you doing right now in your life?
yeah, so I started managing properties some years back, and I realized it was taking so much time away from my family, so much time away from my life, dealing with all of these like really small issues that would just be reoccurring. Lots of complaints, lots of people just telling me their life stories and being really upset. And I consider myself an empath.
Hmm.
So I really, really feel when other people are feeling things.
Yeah.
So they would kind of like transfer their stress to me and it would throw off my entire day. So I was like, okay, there has to be something better that I could do. There has to be an easier way to do all of this. And I couldn't find it. So I decided to make it.
Wow. All right. So tell me a little bit more. What does that mean? What did you decide to make?
Well, I was essentially trying to design something that would replace myself.
Okay.
So with all of the technologies that we have at our fingertips right now, AI coming into the world as it has, it's really going to revolutionize every part of our lives, right? But now all of these interactions and all of these different things can be automated. Like you don't actually have to deal with such a stress load. You can now dramatically reduce your stress.
I agree, and I think when ChatGPT released their Builder suite, right? So how you can build GPTs yourself, I went in and started to look at accountability AI bots, healthcare bots. I did one exercise where I got on this. I have one of these Renfo scales, right? I don't get paid for them to do it, but it's a Renfo scale. You step on it and it gives you body mass index, your weight, it gives you a whole bunch of metrics, and then it has an app. Yep,
Uh-huh.
and then it allows you to like I did all my measurements and stuff, and I put it all in there, and I put that into my builder, and I said, analyze these numbers right now, this data. I want to lose 20 pounds, or sorry, 20 kgs, which is from 94 to 74. Tell
Mhm.
me the most healthy way to do it and the traction with the charts on how to get there, and it showed me, and it also did the food plan, it showed what you're supposed to be tracking, it showed the body physique, how it should change from like somewhat obese to whatever you want to look like.
Isn't it
And
amazing?
it's incredible, and that's why I'm doing what I do today. So I've been in outbound sales for the better half of 10 years, and
Mm.
a lot of that required a lot of manual research, calling people and pissing them off, having tons of arguments with gatekeepers, then finally getting through to the right conversations and then blowing it because I was so excited. And eventually it got to a point where I built a business because I thought I could do it better. But then I ended up dealing with people who made it worse. So
Mm.
I found that if I was able to eliminate the people element of sales development, which has now become available with the company I've partnered with and that I'm working for, it's called Mega.ai. We are going to be developing an AI autonomous agent army of sales development robots that are going to,
Mhm.
we'll have inbound leads or Google paid ads or Meta paid ads. And once we've acquired that data, those contact forms, these robots now will call the agents and they will call and say, hey, actually an AI agent. Do you want to speak to me or do you want to speak to a human? I can
Yeah,
send
that's
you.
really huge. You know, a lot of people, they started with kind of masking that it was AI calling.
Yep,
And I
yep.
feel like with ethics in mind, we're going to have to disclose that every single time. It should be
Mhm.
disclosed, you know? Like, hey,
Exactly.
this is an AI. I'm calling from this company. We're working together. This is what we're doing. Yeah.
Exactly. And then that though works 24/7. It's instant ramp up. You upload a
Yep.
script and it does it and it follows it. It's not
Mhm.
pissed off. It don't need cigarettes breaks. It don't need coffee breaks. So
Yep.
the cost of that agent to run on a daily basis is like 57 cents an hour versus a human diva who's gonna be like, I need $20 an hour to make these calls, and they'll screw it up, right? So that's
Mhm.
why I'm doing this, because I feel there's an impact that's going to be had. And in 10 years, I want to be leading that impact. So for
Yeah.
you, why do you do what you do? Why did you get into being an entrepreneur, going from property manager to founder? What was it that kind of drove that spark in you?
It's funny. Ever since ChatGPT came out, I was blown away. And when Lenza AI took a ton of traffic away from the artwork,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing how, you know, art was now essentially going to be generated going forward more and more and more, I was like, okay, I can either lament and feel bad about what's happening in the world, or
Mm-hmm.
I can join the winning team
Yep.
and I can learn everything that I can about this. So I have been head down, just learning everything possible. And at this point, when you're in that kind of world, when you're in this enclosure, you're always feeling like, oh man, I need to keep up. Like, I don't know enough. I need to keep
Mm-hmm.
learning. And then when you go outside of this, you realize, wow, I actually know quite a bit. Like,
Yep.
everybody knows these things because we
Yep.
all have different tailored information.
Yep. 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 Tell me more about that. So what did that feeling feel like for you before you knew how much you knew, and then when you get to the point of knowing how much you know, and you're like, wow, I am different. Somebody had to tell me it's okay to be operating at this speed. You're operating at a different frequency, and it's okay. You're different. And I'm like, okay, let's go then. Right?
I still feel like I need to keep up. It's never ending, right?
Yeah.
So when you are in this field, it changes so quickly from day to day to day. Um, New advancements are happening, new regulations are being put into place. Everything changes so rapidly that I think not only for this industry, but for the entire world going forward, we're going to have to adapt quicker and quicker and quicker. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Getting comfortable with that is what's important, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that, your job title right now is going to be X, but that's not going to stay the same for very long because you're going to have to adapt and you're going to have to learn new things. And that's going to transition what you know, and you're going to have to build on top of that, and you're going to have to keep going.
So what do you think about then the people? So I speak to some of my friends or old work colleagues, and they're like, you've moved quite fast, and I did, because I didn't want to be stuck as like an account manager or a business development manager, and I still see them stuck in the same position. Nothing bad, but they're just like, there's no progression, and there's so much fear in the progressionary phase that like they won't do it because they're afraid of security. However, just before you go into this, the one of them works at a Fortune 500 company, like a
Mhm.
listed company, and his boss just got fired and he couldn't do anything about it. So where is this security? So what do you say to those people stuck in that thing and they're fearful of going through progression?
Yeah. So I feel like, a lot of employees are really fearful of this because they see what's happening and they see that they will eventually be replaced by robots and software. That doesn't mean that there won't be other jobs available when that happens,
Right.
right? We just need to prepare people to transition into different types of work. And
Mhm.
that will take learning, that will take like reevaluating what's important to you and how you would like to work,
Mhm.
because it's not going to be okay to just like skate by and wait until the hour is up anymore.
I love that, and I cannot wait for the people who will laze around, clock watch. They're gonna get the boot. So
I've
tell
seen.
me, I can't wait. So tell me about your biggest success from the point of like, let's just say you discovering you wanted to be an entrepreneur to
Mm.
being on the path, like going through whatever you've been through, ups and downs. There's always ups and downs. I've been through it myself. But what's the biggest success for you been so far?
Man, this is going to be, it might seem really small to you or to anyone watching, but it's really like finding this sense of self affirming. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
realizing, wow, I do have this. I know this. I can do so much with this. And knowing that all of this help is available to me. When I
So you're
started
looking
this,
for that convincer. It's that convincer, right? That convincer that what you're doing is right.
kind of like, man, even just little signs that you get throughout the day that tell you that you're on the right track, you know?
I
The,
agree. Yep.
yeah, so like it's almost like a spiritual affirming thing where you're just seeing things that are like, okay, this makes sense.
This is
This
so strange that you're saying this. I swear to God, because I know exactly what you're talking about. So I meant we've already had a few conversations on LinkedIn. I've told you a little bit even about my personal life, and as much as all of this stuff is happening, I'm seeing, well, this happened because of this now. Holy shit, that's just happened,
yeah,
right? And then you
so
see the
many
next
things
thing. Yep,
you'll only see in retrospect
yep,
why they happened, right? But
yep.
in the moment, you're like, you're looking for these like little instances, these little moments that are like, okay, you got this. Okay, this is correct. You got this. Keep going.
That is unbelievable. I thought I was because sometimes I'm telling my mum and I'm like, Mum, it just makes sense. Everything makes sense right now. And I think she's like, this kid's going through schizophrenia or something.
I think a lot of people don't understand those moments because they're, especially when you're in a pivot, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're going through some sort of turmoil or some sort
Hmm.
of really big challenge.
Hmm.
Those are those things that you look for that nobody else can really see.
Yeah.
Those are those things that are self affirming to your soul.
Yeah.
That's something that won't make sense to others.
How long has this taken you to figure out?
Huh?
How long is this voodoo world that you're into now with me? How long has it taken you to figure out?
Oh man. Have you ever heard of numerology?
No, I have not. Let me write this one.
Oh, God. Oh, this is gonna have to be another conversation. But I basically discovered something a while back that was almost like, let's say we're in a simulation
Mhm,
and life is this simulation and we all have chosen our avatars, right?
mhm.
This is like the roadmap to your avatar.
What is this?
Numerology.
Oh shit. Oh my god. All right. All right. Let's move on. We're gonna come back to that another time. But before people do start going on their rabbit hole journey, before they go into that, give a one-liner on what numerology is.
Um, it's just the numbers of your life.
All right. So are you talking about like seeing 1111 and knowing 1111 is angel?
So if you're talking about synchronicities like that, if
Mhm.
you see 1111, if you see 222, if you
Oh
see
my
3,
god, dude, I was just about to say 222 for family and relationships.
all, yes, every single number is attributed to a certain trait. For
Yeah.
example, one, a lot of ones is leadership. Twos has to do with home and family life, and fours is like stability,
Mhm.
reassurance. Five is adventure, motion, change. Three is creativity. There's so
Oh my
many of
god, this
these,
is like
right?
some weird shit right now. I can't believe we're talking about this at the
That's
same
really
time.
that's really really basic though. Those are the types of signs. Like
Yeah.
if you happen to see this certain number, like oh
Mhm.
you're looking at the clock and it's 333,
Yeah.
then whatever you're thinking in that moment, you can make the association of like okay, if it's attached to this certain trait, what does that mean? And you can kind of analyze it from that,
Mm-hmm. I was
right?
thinking about, like, it would be like, let's say I met somebody new. It would be somebody I've met through like a business relationship, and I'm about to do either an agreement with them. Some of the occasions were with my partner, and it would be like 222, and it's
Mhm.
me thinking, do I want to continue, or do I want to still speak to this person? And 222 will come
Mhm.
up, and I'll be like, oh my god, okay, cool. There's one of the signs. So
Mm.
beyond that, then, which is really cool. I know we're going completely off tangent from AI.
If you are seeing 222 a lot, that actually means you need to balance yourself. It means that
Really?
you're kind of skewed. Like you need to balance work life with home life and balance yourself.
Wow. I've been seeing, so the main thing I've seen a lot is 11:11.
Mm.
It's been always 11:11 a.m.
Mm.
typically. 222 over here is in about 5 hours. So I've seen that probably once or twice a month. 555 is, funnily enough, my birthday, which was November 5th, my
Mm.
brother's birthday, which was January 5th, my sister's birthday was July 5th. We were all born on on fives, which is like insane, right? So, yo, I can't believe we're having this. We have to. Me and you're gonna pick another chat for this. What's the current state of play with AI? What are you seeing with AI in the industry? I'm taking people off onto some shit that they aren't even ready
I
for.
know this is definitely different from AI, and it's more something that AI will most likely never have the chance to be involved in. Right? It's like something of the soul.
I'm gonna push back on that for a second, all right? So let me tell
Ooh,
you, there's an AI. Somebody
soul
just built,
machines?
huh?
Are you talking about soul machines?
I don't know if it's soul machines. No, it's an astrology. So basically, you give. It's through GPT though, and again, only GPT is allowing this to happen so quickly. But you give your name, your time of birth, your date of birth, and then it gives you the relevance with all the other with all the signs. So I'm a
Mm.
Scorpio. How you're connecting with
Are
this?
you talking about a birth chart?
It is like a birth chart, but it's you typing it just those things, and it's giving you like 10 data points on different parts of astrology through. I'll send you it, and I've never been able to see any of this before, like at all.
Hmm. I question astrology. So when it comes to like Western astrology, I've never quite thought it was like that accurate. I think Chinese zodiacs are a little bit more accurate, but numerology is where it's at.
All right, so we're gonna have
I'm
to
gonna
do
have to
an
redo your
episode.
report, see what I mean.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a whole episode of numerology. So, what's your current state of play, and let's say the impact AI is having on our world today? So, for me, I'm saying my most recent is Apple Vision Pro.
Mm,
What
it's
about
pretty
you?
cool. So I think we've seen a lot of automations throughout the last 10 years. A
Hmm.
lot of like CRMs, a lot of things that are being automated, like billing, marketing,
Yeah.
um, posts being scheduled, things like that. But they
Mhm.
still take a lot of human involvement, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you can set like these chains of events, this order of operation that takes you from this to this to this to this. And then you can make it more complex
Hmm.
because you can add AI now. And so this AI with autonomous AI managers, autonomous AI marketers, autonomous AI coders, now you can set up swarms of AIs, right? This is like the AI army you were
Hmm.
talking about.
Hmm. Hmm.
Are even open source solutions for all of these things. So it is literally at the tip of everybody's finger, which is what I find so mind blowing. I think that AI going forward is the ultimate equalizer. So instead of just these really large companies with deep pockets having access to this, it's everybody. And that can be a good thing and that could be a bad thing. I think that's also why we need to instate regulations, right? Because if everybody can do this, then there's going to be good actors, bad actors, everyone in the middle. Everybody has their own agendas, right?
I
Everyone's
think
trying
you're
to things in the world.
I think what I'll do is after this episode, I'll send you. We just had a roundtable, so I do two roundtables every month with a number of CEOs, typically nine others, well, 10 other CEOs, including myself.
Mm.
And last week on February 1st, we spoke about AI and ethics in sales and marketing.
Oh, I love it.
And I think we're running another one on the 22nd. So, based on what you've said today, I'll bring you in on that one. But we've had ex Gartner connecting to $100 million companies on there. And one of them was the first thing: do you tell the truth? Does the AI, when it's calling or communicating, does it tell the truth? Will it be racist? Will it be diverse? What is
Mm.
it allowed to say? What kind of what kind of data is it allowed to acquire or use? How does it harvest the data? And we went through a whole hour of discussion points on customer data, communication, honesty, trust, and these things they're going to be absolutely massive. So before somebody gets into that kind of realm of regulation, compliance, and how to
Mm.
really use AI in an effective, ethical way, for those that are there's so many people who are like, I don't want to do it because I don't know if it's going to ruin my life or take over. Like, shut up and just figure it out. Where
Mm.
should they start their AI journey, in your opinion?
Man, YouTube's a great resource.
Yeah.
Are
Okay.
so many people teaching you how to use AI and having really important discussions about ethics, about policy. You can even see Congress on AI and on like you can see the what recently happened. You can see like lawsuits happening in real time. You can see like the fact that you can get this information almost immediately after it happens on YouTube is
Hmm.
um,
Is there anybody that you would recommend people like? Who's your go-to source for AI right now? All things AI.
mm, ooh, that's interesting. I do subscribe to a few AI newsletters. Um, I would have to look them up real quick. I think Rachel Woods is a really good one.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Rachel
Uh,
Wood. Do you know who
Riley
Liam Watley is?
Liam Otley, yes, I'm part of his community. It's
Oh,
wonderful.
all right. So again, he's one that I followed, and that was based on, okay, how am I gonna take my agency that had X amount of people, a heavy ass OpEx cost, which was just without that, it could be much more efficient. And his
Hmm.
whole thing was like he's building custom development AI chatbots into businesses but again, you have to have the lead flow.
Yeah.
So Liam Otley, Rachel Woods, who's another go-to player on YouTube that you'd say, yeah, this guy's legit. You can learn
So
from
I
him.
actually found this one on TikTok. His name is Riley Brown.
Okay.
He actually just started a community, and his focus is really on like generative AI and teaching you about hmm, it's more geared towards creative process, but
Okay.
he's amazing. Like
So what
he
about if
stays up on it.
all right,
Oh,
so
also, let me see. There's Matt Berman as well.
okay.
There's let's see, Matt Wolf as well with
I
Future
think I've
Tool.
heard of him, yep.
Um, I'm gonna have to look at my YouTube because there are some really wonderful creators who are sharing so many helpful videos that keep you up to date always.
All right, so you're going to share those after these episodes. After this episode, I usually put them all in the summary for any type of recommendations. Now,
Awesome.
in addition to Bard, GPT being available, I don't know. Are you familiar with Perplexity? Have you used Perplexity yet?
I
Oh my
have
god, that thing is crazy. In
great for
terms
research.
of starting point to learn how to use GPT, yes, let's just say they've gone to YouTube, they've got a basic understanding. Out of any of those main kind of highlight companies that are showing how to use AI or platforms to use it, which one would you say is the go to for a beginner?
All of them function. pretty much the same, and I would call them all kind of like a genie in a bottle. It's very easy to use. You type in a question and you will get an answer.
Where should they start though? You
I
can
would
only pick
start with
one.
ChatGPT.
And then what?
I just started getting into Perplexity. If you like research, like more in depth research, I think Perplexity would be a really good one.
Mhm.
Um, I haven't been too testy with Bart or Bard yet.
Me too.
Um, I know somebody who is heavily involved with Gemini, which is good.
Who's
I've
Gemini by? Who's that by?
Google.
Okay.
And then Claude also has a long track record because they started as the competitor to ChatGPT back when ChatGPT came out.
And who's Claude by?
It's by, let me see, um, Anthropic. It's by Anthropic.
Oh, okay. So there, that in itself, again, for people that are, again, we're looking at CEOs and how they've developed, kind of what are the behaviors that they take on, what's
Mhm.
their journey, what were the passions that led them to take that leap of faith in themselves? Because it's always a leap of faith in yourself, right? When you are learning and you're growing and developing and you're part of a company, you usually come to a point where you're like, I'm sick of this and I want something different. I want more opportunity. And then
Mhm.
again, like you said, you take that leap of faith, you learn, you struggle, you fall, you hurt yourself, you grow. And then after a while, everything just starts to click and make sense. And I remember there was a point in 2022 where I realized this. I realized like delegate how delegation works, how technology could enhance these things when I started to say like it's time to remove people, that obviously threw shit out the fan. But it
Mhm.
was I understood the key. It was like the key had been clicked, right, and it all opens up. It's like that Matrix situation where you see the code, right? You
Yeah.
see it right in front of you. So in terms of companies to look out for, that's another thing. You seem like you know your way around the space a little bit. I heard you say Lenza AI. What does Lenza AI do?
Oh, okay. So Lens AI came out basically when ChatGPT came out, or a little bit thereafter.
Okay.
They used Stability AI, which is a free open source AI platform.
Hmm.
They programmed an application that then you could give it a whole bunch of pictures of yourself. I think they asked for 10. You
Ah,
picked,
okay. And it does
and
yeah.
then it
Okay.
would give you a whole bunch of portraits.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I know which one. I did that one. It made me look like I'm 57 years old.
So I was actually selling portraits at that time. And after that came out, I didn't sell another portrait.
Oh my God. Wow. But it's true because it makes I use the one called Pixar. It's called PixArt, and it's
Mm.
from Revolut, the bank app, right? They have like access to a bunch of apps that you can use for free. And I
Uh-huh.
use that. It says upload 30 pictures, excuse me, and it gave me 200 variations of pictures, like dope
Yeah.
pictures. My LinkedIn profile right now is an AI picture. And
Oh,
people are
really?
like, you look like a Bollywood actor. I'm like, that's an AI picture.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, it's an AI picture. How crazy is that?
That is
All of my socials now, they're all AI. They're all AI pictures,
wow.
and people have no idea. I'm like, yo, I need to do more of this.
Wow.
So, who's another company that you're gonna watch out for?
Um. Oh man, I was on a totally different train of thought right there. You know what I was gonna say though?
Go on,
Is
say it, say it.
there are concerns with all of that, right? Like
Hmm.
if you're giving all of these pictures away to somebody, right? What are their terms? What are their terms of service and what is their policy?
I didn't read nothing, and that's the thing I'm afraid of because I have never
Because
read these things.
there's a click wrapper. You click, you want these pictures. You click
Get
it,
it?
but you don't know, are they allowed to now generate a 3D person of you? Are they allowed to use your face in perpetuity? are they allowed to?
Your
So
ethics.
this is why regulations and ethics are so important, right?
Well, don't worry, you've just landed your seat at the table, so we'll definitely get you there in your opinion out on all these things. So, what is the company that you'd recommend people have their eye out? I believe I just showed a close pal of mine. He's in sales and he's opening up a new market. I said, go check this out, Perplexity. And he goes, how do I penetrate this market with these companies? And it gave him his entire email campaign, and he was like, marketing's going out of business, and he had no idea about this stuff. And I'm thinking, all right, cool. So that's right there and then
That's
somebody.
that totally affirms how good it is if the marketing expert was saying, "Hey, that's going to put me out of business,"
It's
which means
unreal.
I'm going to generate my marketing campaign from Perplexity now. So thank you.
Of course. But again, it's like, all right, let me give you a quick example, right? So my business, when I started in 2020, it was in the midst of the pandemic. Got sent home. I was playing chess with my one of my best friends at the time every day, Xbox, smoking a bunch of weed, and we were like, "Look, we got to give this shit up. We got to do something better with our lives." So we said,
Change your life forever, right?
let's build a business, right? So it was more weed and more work, and we just went ham for 3 years. We built $1 million business, right? And it went up, it went down. There's a few mistakes that we made, and eventually it had to go split apart. But I rebuilt a 2.0 version of that business the past 10 months, and
Mm.
I built the entire business in 3 months. Do you know
And
why?
that's what makes the difference because you have that experience from making all of those mistakes, right? So you
Exactly.
learn from all of them, and now you can do it like in a
So
shorter,
what
more.
did I do, right? So every person in my business that I saw that was valuable, which was like two of them, I just made robots of them. You are this person, you are this person, you are this person. You're my CEO, you're my CMO, you're my CFO, you're my legal compliance officer. I've got a contract lawyer. And
So,
now, whenever I need to do anything, my strategies are based off here's my brand identity. It's called Connect. I service these type of people. I help with these things. I'm true to these values. I want to achieve these things. This is the 10-year goal. You as the CEO are supposed to give me strategy and direction on these things. You as the CFO are supposed to help me reach 100k annual, 100k monthly revenue. I want to have a 70% profit margin. I have X amount of employees. This software. My legal officer. These are the contracts. Where am I exposed? What are my risks? I don't pay a lawyer $1,500 a month. So
that's
all of these things.
what you're using for that. Is it
I
like,
can
is it
do.
is it, oh, you're just,
It's just a builder. So you use the builder,
oh, okay.
and so when you're
Are you talking
building the
about Playground and Assistance API?
I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to get it that far, but within the actual Explore GPT and Build My GPT, that I use my, like I said, a brand identity pack, which I've made based on my brand, and then I program it to use certain questions or
Oh, so
prompts
you're just
based off.
using GPT
That's it. That's
and
it.
you labeled it with your information.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're using like a RAG model.
And it builds
Interesting.
everything for me. And again, if I needed to
Even
pay
more
to do that
simple.
team, it would have cost me thousands. It's cost me $25.
Man, well, now there's even a way to program swarms that will actually execute these things for
Well,
you.
that's what I would be interested. So I've seen this guy, Wes Roth. His name is. Do you know who he is?
Oh, yes, Wes. Wes Roth is awesome as well. He's a great resource. That's another one that I would put on that list.
So
And
Wes
that
Roth,
was the one I was looking for.
he's the one I was seeing with the AI, the swarms, and I don't know how to do any type of swarm activity. That's
Oh,
then where I think like developers or experienced AI technicians or product engineers, that's where they will make money, and that's what people don't realize. There's still a need for that service.
I want to counter that and say that if you find some good tutorials on YouTube, like you probably don't even
But
need
that's
to
yeah, but this is
be.
the thing. So listen, this is so we can have a small debate on this area, okay? So yes, you're right. If you go and look for, so here's the key word. If you go and look for these tutorials, which are future states, you then have to go on a path to find that which is this way, when really you need to be focused here. So, in order to avoid going down that learning path and skewing your vision, because your priority needs to stay on one thing, that's
Mm.
where then, if granted you have money, you have somebody either go do that for you or who
Yeah,
has that
you
experience
friend
and that will pay
people
them to
who
do it.
do know about it.
Exactly. And that's where the gaps are in terms of still, there's going to be the need to have human behaviors, human knowledge, human strategy based on experience to execute on the now. And then
Mhm.
where you need like those advancements, there are people studying those areas and who have, and that's where you leverage those resources to grow.
So the thing that I will say about that is trust, right?
Hmm.
Trust is kind of a, for me right now, it's a very difficult thing
Hmm.
with particularly developers. I had a pretty bad experience with one of the first developers that well, with a couple of them actually now. And I ended up like deciding I was just going to do it myself because I just didn't want the risk of it. Um, but I will say, make sure you have like an NDA, non competes, make sure you have all of your paperwork in place before you work with anyone. I think it'll be
Well, or
important.
they could just come work with you, right? They could just get your services. So do you have a dev background?
I don't. No, I have an artist background. I came from being an artist. I did not know anything about computer science before ChatGPT came out, really.
And you self-taught?
Yeah.
That's fucking incredible. Absolutely incredible. So I'll ask you this then. I mentioned to you one of the major questions that we love hearing is how do you foresee the future? And if you are familiar with the law of attraction and how the universe works, you know very well that your mind acts like a compass, like a GPS. And as long as you plant the destination, you will get to where you want to be. And I've always found that no matter what, the way it works, but it does work. Like you print a bunch of pictures off and really really go for it, but you have to execute on the actions to get there, which is the key criteria. Like it happened. So in 2034, it's 7:41 for me here. What time is it for you?
It's 1:41 p.m.
So 1:41 p.m. in 10 years, you're building a new future in multiple realms and however you're doing it. Everything manages to be a success. If you're looking for an exit, you get that exit. If you go through more than one in these 10 years, it happens. Describe to me what 10 years looks like at this very moment in time. Are you in this office having a conversation with me again? Or are you on the
No,
beach? Are you on a yacht? Are you on a plane? Walk
yeah.
me
So
through this very moment in time in 10
it's
years.
really interesting because I don't have all of this planned out. I don't have like a very detailed picture of exactly what I'm going to be, exactly where I'm going to be. I know people who do that.
I
They
do.
will envision everything from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep. And that's, I think, amazing. What I do, I have one snapshot in my mind, and it's of me walking towards, I'm in a skyscraper in maybe a penthouse, maybe it looks really far up,
Hmm.
right? And I can see like the entire cityscape from where I am. And I'm walking up into this. I see some like tables, some desks right here with a computer set up. I see some to the other side as well. And I can see the back of my head and I'm just walking up to this window. That's what I see. And I always have like these weird, very, very vivid images in my mind. Um, but I can't tell you what's around me. I can't tell you what's happened to get to that point. I can't tell you anything else. I just have that.
Well, that's vivid enough because it's quite again, it it seems like I can imagine it myself and I've lived in New York. Well, no, I've lived in New Jersey and I know what it's like to be in New York. I've always been on the Empire State Building. I was alive and kicking and 11 years old when the Twin Towers was there. So I was very familiar with that experience. And I can see it too. I know what that feeling's like. It's like I've done it.
Mm.
It's like I've. most of what I've done is either accomplished and behind me. I'm so happy I've done it, and there's a new endeavor in front of me. Or in some cases, it's okay to say, I've built this generational wealth, and now I'm going to help others do the same, right? In
Mhm.
whatever means necessary. So, the way we usually wrap these things up is I've added a new twist. Are you an 80s baby or a 90s baby?
I'm a 90s baby.
I'm an 80s baby. What is your favorite 90s or 2000 song?
Song. Oh my god. Uh, oh man. Ooh. This is gonna be
Don't
one
say
of
like Britney Spears or something.
no, it's probably gonna be like bye bye bye. I can tell you my favorite movies though. Favorite
No,
movies
we don't
though.
want to know the movie. Mine's Romeo and Michelle. Romeo and Michelle High School Union. You know that one?
I don't think I've seen it.
Okay, that's an 80s babies kind of thing. You'll see. Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion is such a funny movie. What? All right, let's do it then. What is your favorite movie? But it can only be in the 90s or the 2000s.
I have three,
Huh?
and they're all 2000s. I have three.
No, you can only do one.
Oh my god.
You got to sack off the other two.
Okay, then Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty. Oh my God. Is it the scene when he goes like this?
Oh, there's so many
Eyes go
scenes.
to the side?
So many scenes, right? You know when he like pulls the moon closer?
Oh my God. I know you dreamed about that too. That's your skyscraper vision too, right?
You know that might contribute to it now that
All right. Where can people find you if they want to learn more about you, if they want to communicate with you, learn from you? Where's the best place to have those types of conversations?
So you can find me on YouTube, Bianca Peters,
Hmm.
and you can find me on Instagram, Bianca Peters underscore AI.
All right. So all of these, we want these in links so that we can put these in the description below.
Perfect.
And until next time, Bianca, hopefully we'll have some new news and some new things to share. But
Yeah.
we'll have you on again when that time comes. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, so stay on for a minute. Let me just stop it and